And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a professional intro at Coach Bruce. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Third Down Thursdays with Chris getting the call up to the big leagues this evening. Chris, on MLB opening day, how are you doing, sir?
What up, MJ? Excited once again step in for the Coach Bruce, who's off doing some other things tonight. But yeah, happy opening day to you and to everyone. Obviously, the Blue Jays are a little bit of a nail biter right now, so I'm tracking that 10-9 in the ninth. But yeah, exciting day as baseball finally gets up and going after what seems like an endless spring training and an endless off season. But yeah, lots of excitement in the
air. Chris, Blue Jays fan? Yes.
Yeah.
How we feeling? Yeah, I know you're a little stressed right now. For those of you who like this kind of stuff, I woke up from a nap literally to the Blue Jays getting curb stomped. I don't know if they're still getting curb stomped.
No, they just won 10-9.
They just won?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But the Cards were roaring back. So
yeah. Really weird.
After first opening day win, Chris, how we feeling? What's the outlook for the year?
Well, it's kind of not what I expected on opening day from Alek Manoah. Obviously, he gets the ball and not great, kind of struggling with his command early on, and he gives up 5 runs. But the offense is what the offense is going to be and what a lot of people think it's going to be throughout the season with Springer, Bichette, and Vladdy at the top. 12 hits between the three and supplying lots of runs, and then Dalton Varsho in the 4-hole, a couple hits and a couple RBIs today. And I think the key for the Jays all year long is going to be the lower half of the order as we get into Matt Chapman, Whit Merrifield, Danny Jansen. If they can supply enough offense, I think the top of the order, if they can stay healthy, is so lethal and so good that they're going to win a lot of ball games. And it's just the thing that concerns me is the bullpen. Can the bullpen hold up all year long? Because it's still not great.
Obviously, that division is rough. What is their actual chance?
I think.
You have to go through New York.
Yeah, neck and neck with the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees with some injuries early on with their pitching staff, with Rodon and Severino on the IL. But once they get healthy, that 1 through 5 is so lethal in their bullpen.
Isn't Frankie Montas out all year too?
Yeah. Well, his shoulder's like done.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So is he really not coming back at all?
I don't know. I know when the reports were coming out that they wanted him when he was in Oakland, I read he had like major shoulder problems.
How'd he say? Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I remember when the A's traded him. I'm barely even going to talk about the A's because it's just depressing.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I looked at their roster. I barely know a name. It's just
they might win 65 games. Not even.
Yeah, and they had the third highest profit in baseball last year just because they don't spend money on their roster. It's depressing. They need to move stadiums. They need new management. It's just a sad excuse for a franchise.
With the A's, it's kind of like a cycle. They get good players.
I hope they go to Vegas very soon.
And then these good players go off to different teams and they suck again. Yeah. It's kind of a vicious cycle.
Yeah. And
my bet.
Yes.
Yeah, I placed a bet on this. This goes into the degenerate bets section for you. Rockies A's World Series.
Oh my gosh, what did that pay out?
Win
a line on that?
100,000 is the odds.
What did you put down?
Just made a donation.
Big on it. Like it wasn't. I'm feeling it, baby. Put $1 million on it. No, I put 10 cents, but it's like what 500,000 from 100, 50,000 from 10. So it's like what $500 if they win off 10 cents.
I mean, that would be very sweet.
I know it won't happen, but
no, it won't.
No chance.
Same with the A's. You got to just go in with hope and know that you'll get crushed down.
Oh, I'm not going in with any hope whatsoever. I'm going in with the expectation that they are doo-doo. And
Especially
that's just
when you're in the AL West too, it doesn't help.
no, and they open the season against the Angels. They're going to get curb stomped by the Angels because the Angels have the greatest because they have the greatest baseball player that has ever walked this earth,
Here we go.
and Shohei Ohtani. And Bruce got away with talking about this last week without me here. And now I'm going to get away with talking about it without him here. Like, you just can't. Chris, did you play baseball?
Yeah.
Zach, did you play baseball?
Yep.
Okay. So what Ohtani does
Yeah.
is literally the equivalent of like the best player on your little league team as a kid, right?
Yep.
The guy who could go from the outfield just gunning dudes down to pitching, gunning dudes down, and he hits in the 4-hole. Like, Ohtani is doing what the best player on your little league team did, except he's doing it in the major leagues. And oh, by the way, he did it during the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
On baseball's biggest stage. No offense to the World Series, but all offense to the World Series, because correct me if I'm wrong, but more people watch the World Baseball Classic than they do the World Series. So on the world's biggest stage against the greatest hitter in baseball over the last decade, Shohei Ohtani showed that not only can he hit over 400 against some of the best pitchers in baseball, oh, by the way, I can also just eviscerate my teammate and the best hitter in baseball over the last decade, throw 100 just casually, and then also throw like an 86-mile-an-hour slider in the exact same spot. That's not normal.
No.
And I know that none of us were around for Babe Ruth, but Shohei Ohtani is basically just jacked Babe Ruth. And he's not even jacked, but compared to Babe Ruth.
It's hard though, because Babe Ruth was what, 90 years ago?
Yeah, and didn't he stop pitching when he was in his late 20s?
He only pitched for about 4 years.
Yeah, this has never been seen before.
No. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think he'll ever get the true public consideration for what he's doing. And part of that is
that actually doesn't suck.
Yeah,
that is true. Part of that is, you're very right, Zach, because he's in LA, which normally would be great, but he plays for the Angels. And the Angels have failed. By the way, Zach, is that a Crown Apple?
Where?
Is that what you drinking?
I'm not drinking anything.
Or not Zach. I'm so tired. Chris. What you drinking?
Little steam whistle.
Okay. I thought that was a
Brown apple. That's too bougie for me.
No, it's not. They've got very good mixed mixed drinks, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, because they're not really a seltzer. No. But they got their own mixed drink. They're delicious.
You know what, MJ? I'll give it a try and we can report back.
I promise. I mean, I do prefer the bougie drink over the beer.
I can see that.
But they're not. Wow. Okay. They're not that bougie. Like, to me, they really just taste like apple juice. Yeah. Like, they don't. They're not anything crazy. But no, I just think it's the same thing that I've said about Mike Trout for years. Like, the fact that the Angels have arguably the two best players in baseball on any given night, and they are the two worst marketed players in sports right now. And yes, that is baseball. And that's a huge problem. That what I always say is LeBron James could knock on any door in America, and collectively the people in that house would lose their minds. As much as I hate him with a passion, Tom Brady could knock on any door in America, and collectively most of the people in that house would lose their minds. Mike Trout could knock on any door in America, and they would say, "Sorry, sir, no soliciting."
I'll take a step further. I've been saying it for years. The 53rd man on an NFL roster would get more recognition than Mike Trout would.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Like, Kurt Benkert, my guy, who's playing in the XFL right now. Saw him on Sunday. He didn't really show out on Sunday. He showed up.
2 days to prepare. Let's be fair.
Oh no, he had one practice to prepare. He got there on Thursday, did a physical, did meetings, couldn't even be ready for practice. On Wednesday, Zach, he was on the beach with his wife and daughter. And I quote, building sandcastles, which I love. The fact that on Wednesday he was on the beach and on Sunday he was playing a professional football game. That's just disgusting and so impressive.
Well, I love him and what he goes through with his Twitter. Sorry to derail.
No, I 100% agree. And to that point,
he's so grounded.
Yeah, and to that point, just a practice squad NFL quarterback has way more name recognition, in my opinion, probably than Mike Trout.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how much of a team sport baseball really is, right? Because the Angels have these two generational talents, maybe two of the best talents we've ever seen before in this sport, but they can't put the pieces around it. They've been so bad for so long that, mid-July, they're out of it and people don't care to watch them and can't really market those two when no one's watching, right?
And I don't know off the top of my head the Angels' payroll. I don't think it's very high. I mean, they've got 3 guys they're paying a good amount of money when you include Rendon. Right. But then when you look at the rest of their roster, it's really sad because it's probably pretty comparable to the A's outside of those 3. If you take those 3 away, somebody pull up their payroll. And I want to pull up their payroll and subtract those 3. Oh, Jack, it would be just imagine. I don't know why I feel like this is.
Get him and
That's what I was gonna say. Is Steve Cohen is gonna pay an ungodly amount of money for that man to be in a New York Mets uniform.
What's his contract gonna be? So I'm feeling
500 mil.
Some team could do something really stupid and go 15 years.
600 million. Yeah.
600 mil. Yeah.
I'll do some digging and see if I can find what the current, not current asking price, but what some folks would pay. Because that's a very good question. I know Jackson said last week I would just write him a blank check.
Yep.
Because, right now, I don't think we can argue that he is the most valuable player in baseball.
Most valuable player in sport, period.
Oh. I know Zach might take offense to that.
I don't hate it. That's not a bad take. Just given what he does,
When you look at the impact, total
team.
impact on the game, the guy can hit 40 bombs, throw 102, and be a Cy Young candidate pitcher. Total impact.
I don't disagree.
A very realistic case.
But so I don't disagree. Obviously, I've been leading the train for MVP in baseball, period. But across all of sports. So, I know Zach would say Jokic is the NBA MVP.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to in a little bit. We'll get to in a little bit. I think it's impossible for any football player to reach that type of value because
you have to play both sides.
You only play one way.
And so you have to look at really basketball and hockey are the only places where you can compare.
Maybe what McDavid's doing in the NHL right now, there's a case for him
McDavid's
too.
On another level.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can't really speak to hockey, and I'm not going to try.
Just looking at the whole package of Ohtani and what he brings, it's hard to deny just the total impact he truly has on the game.
Yeah, I don't think maybe I'm trying to think who, even just last few years of basketball, who could compare just total value. I wish there was a way
maybe
to
honest
quantify that. Maybe
Giannis, maybe. Jokic, maybe. Embiid, maybe. Depending on what you want. Basketball's such a loaded question at this point because it's like kind of depending on what you want, what you like.
Right. But I mean,
Giannis is a legit defensive player of the year.
Giannis being
Him,
being in the MVP talk and defensive player of the year, but
and then like Embiid is a great defender and an elite scorer. Jokic is the entire package on offense, and despite what people say, a very, very good defender. Not going to say elite, but he's very good. So it depends on what you want. Basketball is a loaded question in that kind of way, but I'd say if you're looking for an MVP of like the style of Ohtani, it would be one of those three.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. I am curious. Try to stay away from the drugged up quarterback as much as possible. Just y'all's thought on NFL free agency. There wasn't that much. I don't want to say there wasn't that much moving around. I just don't feel like it was as chaotic as it is sometimes. But I don't know if you guys have any winners and losers per se of NFL free agency.
I think the Broncos were free agency winners.
Okay.
I know people aren't going to love it, but I've been around it like every day. I live here, right?
Right.
But this offensive line last year was bad, like bad. And you go in the first hour and a half and you get Ben Powers, who is arguably the best guard on the board, fits Sean Payton's style perfectly, fill up that left guard spot. And you get Mike McGlinchey, who this is going to be a running team this year, and he's one of the best run blocking right tackles in the NFL. That's really, really good. And then I know Brandon in the chat always makes jokes about Samaje Perine, but I legitimately think he's a good player.
He's a very good player. He seamlessly replaced Joe Mixon when Mixon was hurt.
He's not the best running back in the NFL. I think he's a lower end starting caliber running back who happened to be who's stuck behind Joe Mixon.
We also thought that about Tony Pollard for a couple of years.
Yeah, opportunity.
So
Tony Pollard is a great running back. So those kinds of moves, Zach Allen, I actually love after watching him a little bit more. Brought him in from Arizona, played with Vance Joseph, but he's a better run defending player than people say. I think at least he's a good pass rusher. He works his ass off every single play. Those kinds of stuff. Like he's an impressive player. I think Denver wanted to get bigger in the trenches, get heavier and stronger, and they did. So to me, getting objectives like that, that's a win.
I will say, I know they're probably not going to be running that style of offense before, but for Chris and I talking from a Packers perspective, the thing that you can have that helps out a quarterback the most is that O-line and your running game.
Absolutely.
And that's what Russell Wilson had for a really long time in Seattle, was they always had a very good running game. And that allowed him to work off the play action. He and Aaron Rodgers both thrive off that play action bootleg. And I didn't watch that many Broncos games last year, but unfortunately I was forced to watch some primetime Broncos games. And what I didn't see was Russell Wilson on the move very much.
No.
And so if you can get him on the move, well, yeah, he was week 1 and then they just didn't do it.
Yeah. Nathaniel Hackett for you. I have so many comments about Nathaniel Hackett, but that's not what this is for. But yeah, no, Russ needed a run game and he needed an offensive line that would protect. Granted, we were down to like our fourth right guard at one point, and third or fourth left tackle. Like Denver had 25 players on injured reserve last year. It's like I do want to take that into account.
Kind of just a disastrous season all around.
Yeah, coaching was bad. Russ was bad. Like it's not absolving him saying that the offense.
No,
he was bad. He was bad. But
he was horrific.
Was also bad, and Hackett was awful. It was an abject disaster. So,
imagine having your own personal coach in the building and still being that terrible.
I think it was on Hackett too. Like every week, it seemed like we were running a different offense.
Yeah,
we never stuck to the same things week to week. It was like, what the? You said you were an offensive mind that had one way that you were going to go. You're going to run outside zone, and then by week 2, we stopped running outside zone.
Seems like the sweet spot for Russ next year and going forward is going to be throw it like 20, 25 times a game and lean heavily on the running game.
If you can get what, 25? I'll go 25, 30. I'll say that. But in the same range,
Yeah.
And then run game, like, should be pretty even, like 30-30 in terms of run pass kind of stuff. I think you're sitting pretty.
And even in old Sean Payton offenses, they've always had a very good running game. Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara.
Pierre
So,
Thomas,
yeah.
Darren Sproles, Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Darren Sproles. I
I'm
think
hoping we draft Deuce Vaughn to be the next carnation of Darren Sproles because he's like the same size and went to the same college.
Got a little delivery. It's a wrap from Chick-fil-A. I'll be honest. I'm like, I don't feel very good right now. I'm feeling like I'm about to pass out. I don't know why. So I'm a snack on this because I don't know if my blood sugar is low or something. But I have no idea why. But what was I going to say? I have no idea. Darren Sproles. He's in this draft, by the way. Tajay Spears.
Ooh, I think it's Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn.
I think both. Deuce Vaughn. Isn't Deuce Vaughn like significantly smaller than Darren Sproles was?
Deuce Vaughn.
Similar. Deuce Vaughn is 5'5", like 160, 170.
Deuce Vaughn in a creative offensive system in the NFL is going to be fun.
But who?
And then Tajay Spears is also in the same.
Yeah. Where does Deuce Vaughn fit best? Is it with Sean Payton?
It could be, man.
It could be.
Like the way he used Darren Sproles, he could use him very, very similar.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like.
And it helps everything that they went to the same school.
Maybe Jacksonville, throw him in Doug Peterson's offense and just.
That would be fun too.
Ooh, I think
actually.
I want to see the man in Kansas City.
Yeah, or throw him with Andy Reid. Everyone works with Andy Reid.
Stop
because
players on the Chiefs.
Sorry, Zach.
I was gonna say I thought Cleveland had a sneaky good free agency class too. Juan Thornhill, Dalvin Tomlinson, and then they go
getting
get
Juan
Elijah
Thornhill.
Moore. Yeah,
Getting Juan
That
Thornhill.
team. That's just going to be hard because I don't know. Like Watson played so bad at the end of that year, and so you don't know what you're getting.
I don't even think he showed signs of improvement either. Like he was just
No. And like, yeah, he was not playing football for a while, so that'll do it to you. But I don't know. It's interesting to like they committed to a dude who hadn't played football in a year with that much money.
Didn't Stefanski say they want to throw it more with Watson when like the best part of their team is the running game with Nick Chubb and that offensive line?
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if they trade Nick Chubb. I genuinely do. It wouldn't be smart just because of the way that team is built. And
you think they trade Nick Chubb?
I'm not making a prediction they will. I am wondering if they would. Like, kind of thinking aloud.
What would they get for him at this point? With like the running back market being what it is?
You might get a high second. Just because
I think you could still get a first.
High running back.
No way you get a one for him.
You can go late first, but it's like what him, Derek Henry being rumored to be traded was interesting. I have no idea what you get for him because he's a little older.
Late day 2, early day 3 pick.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. It'd just be interesting.
It's always wild to me that these guys are available for like a 4th round pick and people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand they cost a lot of money, but it's still just wild.
Yeah, but look at this draft class with
Bruce is all going off the rails.
B. John Robinson, Dwayne McBride, like all these really talented backs.
This class is crazy.
Yeah.
I legitimately, so I had an NFL scout tell me, if your team doesn't take a running back, it is idiotic.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care who you are. Packers with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, the Browns. Like, I don't care what kind of running back duo you think you have. You better take a running back.
Yep.
Bruce is sprinting home. What am I supposed to be? What are we doing wrong?
I don't know, man. But I don't know. I agree with Jack's comment up here, though. The Lions had a great.
I was gonna say I gotta
Oh,
mention,
absolutely.
I gotta mention they made some sneaky good signings.
They brought Marvin Jones back.
That team was so devoid of talent defensively, and all they did this offseason was acquire defensive players that are actually
adding Gardner Johnson and Cam Sutton in the secondary. Like they were so bad at corner last year,
And then they're gonna draft Christian Gonzalez
or Devin Witherspoon at 6, and like suddenly if what's his name, Okuda becomes what you think he can be, like you're playing with fire in that secondary now.
I hope you know Christian Gonzalez is a Detroit Lion. Like
he's a freak.
If I had to like bet my entire future on any draft pick this year, it would be Christian Gonzalez to the Lions.
I can see it, man. He fits what they want to do. He's a freaky athlete. Former CU Buck, by the way. I do want to throw that out there.
Can you see Dan Campbell going? Yeah, he started at Colorado.
And then transferred because that program sucks until now. Deion Sanders, boys. But
How is that in Colorado, Zach? People really excited about that?
We sold out the spring game. What is it? March 30th. It's on April 20th. It was just announced sold out with 45,000 seats. If you want to know the previous record before that, it was 17,000 in 2008.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I guess that's the power of Deion, right?
That's huge.
Well, and then you think about what he brought to, like, Shedeur Sanders had SEC offers before he went to Jackson State. Travis Hunter was the number one recruit in football in 2021.
Yep.
They brought some dogs to this team. Like, I genuinely think that's a team that can win like 6.5 games, 6, 7 games, just going from 1 to 11. Let's be fair here. They can be bowl eligible this year.
Real quick, gentlemen. You know, Bruce is sprinting home, and I just want to remind everybody to drive responsibly. And when you are driving, gentlemen, you know what you need? You need some very good car insurance.
Here's to the grown-ups. Your car is now your office, stage, nursery. Sorry. Erie Insurance offers products that lots of other companies don't. That's a big deal, and it's a good deal, too. And with Erie, you get your own independent agent, not a giant corporate call center or some online robot. You meet with a real person, like this.
Your local Erie agent is Building Block Insurance Group. Get a quote today at 704-464-4544.
Erie Insurance.
I'll be honest, I forget this part because Bruce always does it. Jeff at mybebig.com is all I really know. Jeff Ortepney at mybebig.com. Contact him for your insurance. Let him know the Third Down Thursday sent you and something about he's terrible at Call of Duty. That's really all I got. But yeah, so, oh my gosh, Zach doing just full on personal introductions. You want to introduce us, Zach? Dang, you so rude. Is not going to introduce the boys? Dang, okay.
But
I see how it is.
A couple.
Real quick, before Bruce comes back and just causes chaos, let's talk about the NBA MVP race because I know that Zach just needs to get this off his chest. So Zach, I'm just going to give you the floor. What's going on? Give me the chaos.
So many comments. What was it? Monday was the greatest day of Twitter in my life. Legitimately.
Okay.
So the article comes out, the Joel Embiid Shams interview article, that comes out early in the morning, like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, my time at least. And then then another article comes out from ESPN about how Jokic's defense sucks, which is not true. And then 11 o'clock-ish Mountain Time rolls around. Ramona Shelburne, Woj both report Joel Embiid is out tonight in Denver.
What a dagger.
He's been questionable for 5 games in a row with this calf injury. He just finished a back-to-back. And then comes to Denver on a night's rest and does not play. He ducked that game.
Oh.
I will not – and I say this because he played last night. Like, he took Denver off and played the next game. So tell me you didn't duck. And to me, like, look, Embiid was going to win this year. He was set to win, and I was ready for it. I was prepared for it. The narratives were there. The voter fatigue was there.
Voter fatigue is real.
Well, and I want to put it this way, though. He's also been incredible. I don't want to.
Yeah, no.
tear him
Embiid's
down.
been
He's
awesome.
Awesome this year.
Yeah.
But then you do something like that, fresh off Jokic beating Giannis on a back-to-back, to be fair, but beat Giannis and the Bucks by 20. Like, so it just came into this point where you're like, all right, look. And now I'm happy if Jokic. I'm all right if Jokic doesn't win. He's won his 2. At this point, if I'm a Nuggets fan, I just want the title. I don't care about MVP.
Yeah.
I just want but if he gets it, awesome. Good for him. I'm happy for him. But right now, I'm not. As long as Embiid doesn't win, I'm all right. If Giannis wins, we're good. If Jokic wins, I'm happy. If Embiid wins after that, that hurts. Just because it's like you had a chance to finish the MVP. You had a chance to end that conversation right then and there Monday night, and you didn't. You chose to run away. He wasn't even on the bench. He wasn't even on the bench during the game.
Really?
No.
Yeah, he was not on the bench.
Where was he?
We may have seen a video unconfirmed of him in the tunnels behind, like in the locker room area. Unconfirmed video, to be fair. But that's the best we got. Like, he didn't show up at all.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's
We see some weird stuff in the NBA, and that's weird.
That's not right.
Feels like it's so neck and neck at this point where like if one of them has like a really, really like signature performance these last handful of games, it could kind of push them over the top. I think the only thing, like you said, working against Jokic's voter fatigue is real.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Embiid's been awesome all year. Like to lead the NBA in scoring as a big man is pretty crazy, but
It's insane.
when you look at like total impact on the game, like the Joker, what he does, the passing on the defensive end, the ability to score, like he's the total package.
There's not a player in the NBA that I genuinely think
Yeah.
can cover him. Like Brook Lopez, he's a defensive player of the year candidate. Got sunned for 30 points. Who's guarding that guy?
No.
Lopez is bigger than him, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, he's taller than him. He's not bigger.
Lopez is taller. I think he has a few pounds on him.
Really?
I think it's close in that area, but they're pretty comparable in weight. And Lopez is taller. Like I've said for
years, yeah, he is.
Under 7 feet tall, you're not guarding Nikola Jokic. Well, if you're over 7 feet tall, you're still not guarding Jokic.
So it's interesting. Embiid has finished second in MVP voting for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how many times this has happened before, but how much would that suck for him to finish second 3 years in a row?
That would suck.
That would suck.
Like, that's just from like a personal level. That just hurts, man. That's just rough. Chris, what is your NBA affiliation? I don't even know.
See, like I would say I'm a Raptors fan, but like I don't really have an NBA team to be honest.
All right, boys.
Really?
I gotta jump out real quick though.
Okay,
I'm more
sounds
just
good.
Talk to y'all next week.
There's
Adios, sir.
honestly, MG, when I'm more just a fan of the sport in general, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I've never really had like an NBA affiliation. I know you're a Warriors guy, right?
Yes, I am. So we got Gary Payton back, which was huge. I was mad to begin with when they let Gary Payton go. I thought that was a very poor decision for a team that had always struggled on the defensive end to let, other than Draymond Green, your best defensive player go. It was like a 2-year, $8 million contract. You're telling me you didn't have $4 million somewhere? I understand you're paying Clay, Dre, Poole, Curry, all a lot of money, but really, you don't have something in there to keep your best defensive player. So they're doing okay. They're going to make the playoffs. I'm not concerned about that, especially with the Mavericks tanking that the way they are. That really just sealed a lot of folks being able to make the playoffs. Right now, the Warriors are a game above the playoff. and they actually would be slated to play Sacramento, which I would feel bad for Sacramento to finally make the playoffs, be a 3 seed, be on top of everything, and then, hey, proud of you. You got to play the reigning champs. You got to play Golden State. That would just really suck, in my opinion, for Sacramento. For Golden State, it's great. You're playing a young, inexperienced team. You don't have to travel that much, something that Draymond Green said. But the West just confuses me because, like, Denver should be good, but their playoff experience shows that they don't. Sorry, Zach, but they don't really show up in the playoffs the way they do in the regular season. I don't trust Memphis.
No.
Phoenix, it's not going to happen. I just know that for a fact. It's just, Scott Foster shows up in one game and they're done. And then the Clippers, it depends on if PG comes back. I'm pretty sure he's hurt right now. So if he can get back, but like the Warriors have the best playoff experience out of any of those teams in the West. So, and they're only a game and a half out of fourth.
Yeah.
In the conference.
With Curry, Clay, and Draymond, no matter where they are with Steve Kerr's coach, they'll always be dangerous.
Those three together on the floor still have the highest plus minus of any trio in the NBA this year.
They are always going to be formidable. They're always going to be capable of winning the chip. Those three are just so good together that no matter where they are, they're always dangerous.
And the biggest thing is Clay is leading the NBA in three-pointers made this year. So he's finally, I think people don't realize, the man didn't play basketball for almost 3 years.
3 years.
And like that's really hard to come back from, especially as somebody who is such a rhythm guy who relies so much on his catch and shoot, his off the like you don't just get that back.
No.
And so this year in his first full NBA season back, he's just going crazy. And he's leading the NBA in three-pointers made. So you have the guy who's leading the NBA in three-pointers made, and then Steph Curry, and then you have baby Steph Curry and Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Talk about it.
You're telling me that that's not a team you're scared of. It's just hilarious that people will write them off. Oh, no, the Warriors.
What's the about the Warriors is like the splits from winning at home versus how bad they've been on the road.
Mm-hmm. That's why they need that 4 seed.
I know, like when you get away from Oracle Arena or whatever the hell they call it now, and you get on the road in the Western Conference playoffs, Chase Center, like whole different.
That's why that 4 seed could be huge. Well, because the other thing is, so no matter where they are in the 3 through 6, they're not leaving like really close. They're not traveling very far.
No.
But I think it would be, Chris, I think it would be massive for them to only have to go to Sacramento. Yeah. Like, I don't want them to go higher. I want them, I understand that they would have to play one more road game in the series, but I do not want them to play Phoenix or LA if they can play Sacramento. And this is not me disrespecting Sacramento. It's just a fact that a team who has no playoff experience.
Never been there before.
There is no way on this earth that team beats this Warriors team in a playoff series.
And it's a great story, but like, what are they going to be when the chips are down, right? Are they smoking mirrors? Or are they for real?
And props to the Kings. They actually have a very good home away split, 23-16 at home, 23-14 on the road, as opposed to the Warriors who are 31-8 and then 9-29. That's just awful. Like,
that's crazy.
I am curious. I want to look this up. Like, what the worst the worst NBA home away records. Like,
Well, Houston is 6-33 on the road.
yikes.
Detroit's 7-30. Jeez, I didn't realize San Antonio was that bad too.
Milwaukee is the best team on the road this year.
I could see that.
How do I? Let's flip it. Okay, I'm just gonna go back the last few years and look. Just out of curiosity, like try to find a good team. I mean, LA last year wasn't very good, but they were 12-29 on the road, which is really bad. Phoenix has had the best road record a few years in a row, and then they just get shellacked. Toronto 2 years ago. Toronto when they won. Is that when they won? No, that was the year after. It was 2020. I thought
it's when they lost in the ball. They lost to, I forget who they lost to. But even in 2020, they were still near the top of the Eastern Conference.
And they had the worst away record in the NBA that year. I
can see that too.
So yeah, that really is a big indicator of who wins. Is Golden State when they went to the finals in 2018 had the best away record in the NBA. That's crazy. So it would be historic for the Golden State Warriors with a 9-29 road record to even win a couple playoff series, and I think it's really possible.
If they get
that would be
Sacramento round one, it's definitely possible.
Because they could legitimately get Sacramento, and then they would probably get Memphis, which I guess it depends on how the play-in goes. Because I think Memphis could lose to New Orleans or OKC. Realistically, if either one of those sneak in,
a lot of storylines with that Grizzlies team.
Yeah. But let's see. I don't know if Bruce is actually going to hop in or not. But Chris, I am curious what's going on in the golf world.
Well, MJ, the best week of sports is coming up next week with the Masters at place in Augusta, Georgia. I think they're at the Valero this weekend. And honestly, golf is on such a heater right now with all the young talent they have.
Oh, yeah.
And like Scotty Scheffler is so disgustingly good at golf. It makes me think that every time this guy is in the field, he's going to win.
He's starting to excite me. I'm not going to lie.
The only thing about Scotty is he's so like outer worldly good at the sport, but for a guy who's like arguably the face of golf right now, he's so boring.
You're not wrong.
He's got to be one of the most boring athletes you'll ever meet in your life.
It is not like a knock on him. It's just
no, it's not. It's
he's not. He's not. Well, I guess Tiger isn't even that interesting, but like,
but Tiger, all of the off the course stuff made him interesting. All the storylines, everything throughout his whole career, there was always something with Tiger. Scotty's like, come to the tournament, win, go home, eat pizza, and watch The Office with his wife, and then travel to the next tournament and kick the shit out of everybody else too.
Oh my gosh! So correct me if I'm wrong. There is a tournament this weekend, right?
Yeah, they're at the Valero. It's kind of like people call it the Rats Race tournament because the winner of this, you get obviously an invite to the Masters, so everyone's trying to win and get that last invite. But most guys take this one off because they go down to Augusta and play practice rounds. But it's not a bad field. Like Matt Kuchar's in there. I know Ricky Fowler's playing. Matsuyama.
How does Tiger have a Masters invite?
You won. You get to come back for life.
Oh, really?
If you win, you get to come back for life.
Oh, okay. That
I think
makes
it's
sense.
yeah. You win a tournament, you're exempt to all the majors. I know if you win the Masters, you get to come back for life. You win a major, you get to play all the other majors for like a 5-year period. So yeah, he can play until he's like 80 years old. There's no
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Oh, that's how Phil is there. Okay.
That's another dynamic we could get into. All the live guys being at the Masters is going to be very interesting.
Oh, they can play in the Masters?
They can play in the majors because the majors aren't run by the PGA Tour. They're run by like the Masters is run by Augusta, US Open is run by USGA. So all the live guys are allowed to play, and if one of them, let's say, is like among one of the final groups on Sunday, like could you imagine Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy final group at Augusta?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Even just the chance to get Phil Tiger again.
Yeah. Like Phil, Brooks Koepka, Cam Smith, like one of those guys is in contention.
That could be really funny.
Yeah. Or imagine one of them won it.
Everyone go lose their minds. Chris, what are your thoughts on the ball rollback? Have you seen anything about that at all?
Yeah, I know guys who played golf in the past and past players like Jack Nicklaus are getting really upset with par fives. Guys are cutting corners, hitting their drives 360 yards and hitting a sand wedge into the green.
Yeah.
Where the lines some of these guys take off the tee now are just like outrageous. So it's been talked about for a long time where they can't really mess around with the equipment that like too much because just the way the technology is now.
Right.
But you can change the flight of the golf ball like they're talking about where let's say you knock 30, 40 yards of distance off some of these guys' tee balls. The heavy hitters are still going to be the heavy hitters. Like Rory McIlroy is still going to hit the ball 300 yards off the tee.
Right.
But instead of these guys going out and shooting, 20 under at some of these tournaments, they'll shoot like 7 or 8 under, and they'll be more fun to watch because you kind of got to play golf differently if you're killing the distance game right now, right? So I know there's been a huge uproar in the past about like par fives, cutting corners of trees off the tee and then hitting driver sand wedge into the green where they want par fives to be played like 3 shots or you're hitting driver and then like 7 or 8 iron instead of like driver lob wedge into the green.
Right. I just want to say I went golfing with my dad on Monday and I hit a drive 391 yards.
Holy shit. A couple clicks.
Now it was downhill, probably downwind, but the wind wasn't that much of a factor the other day. I killed that thing and it did roll, but I mean, I don't know how far it carried. Yeah. I don't have that technology, but all I know is the hole was 491 yards and from that ball, I had 100 yards to the pin.
Jeez. Downhill, downwind, just unloaded on one.
Boom.
And then talking about the distance battle too, I know they've tried to like make these courses longer, make these holes longer. Like they've done everything they can, but there's only so much land, right? So running out of ideas here where,
there's only so much you can do on that. And I don't love making the courses longer because then you're making it more unplayable for the average person if they do play there. I know people who played Augusta are not the average people and stuff like that. But even, a lot of the places that a good amount of majors or PGA Tour events are held at, regular people play there. And so if you're
Beach,
Sawgrass,
Sawgrass.
People play those courses. And so if you want to make them unplayable for the average person, my best drive ever, 391. If you're making that whole 600 yards, that's still going to be a very difficult golf hole for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand that the purists want to say this is not how golf is supposed to be played. Sports evolve, sports change.
Yeah.
People said the same thing about shooting threes in the NBA. Now everybody shoots threes. Like, I don't know, to some extent, I think you just have to shape up or ship out.
I thought Rory's comments were really interesting on it, where he said a lot of the guys on tour are really upset about it because some of these guys' games is obviously with their driver and just getting as much distance as they can off the tee, and it helps them score better, obviously.
Yeah.
But Rory said you're still going to find out who the best players are based on their all-around golf games. If, you're killing the distance battle a little bit, you actually force these guys to hit, tougher shots into these greens and make them play, better golf.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. I just think I've never seen something. I don't think I've ever seen something where they're considering just straight up changing the equipment you're allowed to use in a sport because people are too good. Like, it would be like changing the ball because Steph Curry is too good at shooting it far. So let's make the ball heavier. What?
The thing about golf is, in comparison to other sports, it's a very, this and everyone knows it's a very traditionalist sport where there's a lot of old men yelling at clouds, right? Where hesitancy to change or see the game kind of adapt and evolve from how it's been played for the past 100 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just the newbie in me. I'm like, no, I think it's fun. Go ahead, kill that drive. I want to see that. I don't think it takes any less skill.
Yeah, last comment I have on this is the common golf fan who just goes out and gets like gooned with his buddies and plays on Saturday afternoon. Let's say you turn golf on TV. You want to watch Rory McIlroy hit the ball 370 yards.
Right.
Like, the average golf fan doesn't care about Scotty Scheffler hitting an 8-iron. They want to see John Rahm uncork one like 340 off the tee. That's what they care about, is shots like that.
I agree. Let's see. It's about time for fireside chat. I don't know if Bruce is going to make his way in or not. He said he was speeding home, which I've seen that man drive. That scares me a little bit. But let's see, Chris, what you up to this week? You got any weekend plans?
Oh, I'm excited to watch these final 4 games on Saturday afternoon and then catch the rest of this Blue Jays card series as it wraps up and as baseball gets underway here. But not too much. What are you up to?
I close tomorrow and Saturday, so I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow. Milwaukee's getting smacked by Boston right now, by the way.
Jeez.
On TNT. Holy cow, they're losing by 21. But yeah, I work the next 2 days, so not much. I was in Dallas last weekend because it's my birthday and my niece's birthday, so I went home for a couple days. So I was off Monday, so I have to work Tuesday through Saturday, which kind of sucks, but it'll be fine. Again? Chick-fil-A. I run a good old Chick-fil-A, so
I could go for Chick-fil-A right now.
It's such a big thing down here in the South. It's wild.
And it's never caught on here in Canada like it has down there, which is weird.
Fun fact, I know the guy who opened the first Chick-fil-A in Canada.
Really?
Yeah. He worked at my first store that I ever worked at.
Jeez.
Yeah. I believe his name is Justin. Good guy.
Like, I know there's one in Toronto, but like it's popular, but it's not as popular as it is down there.
Yeah, dude, it is crazy. Like, it's hard to quantify for somebody who's never worked there. But I got destroyed. So I closed last night and I opened today, which is just because of the show. That's how my schedule had to work out. Normally I'm off Thursdays, but I had to work today because I was off Monday. So I did just 4 hours at the end of my night last night sucked. We were just getting beat up. And then I came in this morning and we got beat up all day. And it's just people never stop showing up. Like, I'm always like, okay, it's, it's parents got to go put their kids down for their nap, right? Or people are in school. Nope. They just still keep coming. And it's
the next customer rolls in and the next one rolls in.
Dude, there are always cars pulling into our drive-thru until we close at 9 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
There are always cars pulling in. And I'm like, I understand. Like, Chick-fil-A is good, but I just don't understand the obsession, bro.
And it's closed on Sundays, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes it even worse because everybody,
yeah. They know that. They come on Saturday, Friday, yeah.
Paige said Bruce said he was sprinting home. He's old. He can't be that fast.
Very true, Paige. Very true.
Yes.
Very good point. I have exams tomorrow. Oh, no.
Yeah, she's got 2. She's going to be up all night. Hold on.
Paige,
Let's see.
Make sure when you're studying, MJ doesn't bother you, right?
Oh, I won't. I got to go back to work in an hour and do inventory.
Oh, that's no fun.
No, I'm going to cry. It's fine. I'm just going to listen to the A's game while I do it.
Yeah, I go turn that on.
Oh yeah. Happy belated Gonzaga elimination day. Celtics are destroying the Bucks. It's fantastic. Alex is working. Ooh.
IndyCar series. That's kind of sick.
That actually is. I didn't know that was in the DFW area. Oh, well, Jack has his comments on that. And then, yeah, Paige getting...
Chick-fil-A is mid.
It kind of is. Like,
Paige, I have heard that.
The sandwiches are good.
I respect the take.
I'm not a fan of the nuggets, personally. The strips are decent. I really
fries?
I cannot eat potatoes.
No? Not a fan?
No, like, I'm allergic to potatoes.
Oh my gosh, are you actually?
Not like anaphylactic, but like, you know how people are intolerant to dairy?
Yep.
Same thing.
I've never heard that.
So I will be fighting battles if I eat potatoes. So and Chris, that's how I can tell if a fast food fry is really like a good fry. Because I cannot eat Chick-fil-A fries. I can eat McDonald's fries. With no repercussions. I can smash a large fry. Boom. No problems. We
love McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only time I can eat French fries, so I'll take it. Let's see. Yeah, Paige is not sleeping tonight, which is fair.
What is sleep?
Yeah. Alex feels me on the inventory. I do it just because it gets me a couple hours of overtime. Let's see. Yeah. The only thing Paige likes at Chick-fil-A is the mac and cheese.
Never had it. I will give it a try next time I'm there.
It's very good. I will say it depends on who prepares it, because there is a certain ounces of cheese that you are supposed to put on it. If you follow that, it's good. If you go over that, it's great. Yeah. So it depends on who makes it. I've had some great mac and cheese in my time. I've had some decent mac and cheese. It really just depends. But yeah, also, I want to give Jack a shout out real quick as my last thing. He does all his motorsports stuff, right? And let me get this right. Who reached out? The official league that he's been writing all his recaps for actually reached out to us. Supercross. They reached out to us and said, hey, we've seen everything that Jack is doing and that y'all are doing at Third Down Thursdays. We appreciate all the coverage. We'd love to have y'all out to a race sometime. And we want to give you access to all of our media, all of our images, so that y'all can do even more. So,
shout out, Jack. Huge
shout out to Jack. because he's gotten the attention of a major organization in that sense. So very, very well done on that. I don't understand motorsports at all. I have no desire personally to watch them, but hey, let's go cover a race. You know what I'm saying? That would be so much fun.
Jack's kind of a jack of all trades.
I'm good. It's true.
Jack, he does it all.
I love that. I love that so much. All right. Well, Chris, thank you for stepping in Bruce's absence. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it. Like Paige said, he is a slow old man, so it's not surprising that he couldn't make it home in time. But thank you for stepping in. It has been a pleasure. Yeah. And real quick, World Series prediction. I didn't get that.
Give me Atlanta and Seattle.
Atlanta, Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
What's yours?
Atlanta, Seattle. I can't pick the Yankees because they never actually make it. I'm going to go... that's rough. I'm going to go Tampa... repeat. I'll go Tampa, LA. Tampa and the Dodgers. I think that's the best bet. That Dodgers team is still just so good.
Betting on the Braves. I mean, betting on the Rays is always a safe bet too.
Oh yeah, their pitching staff is disgusting every single year. Does not matter. Does not matter. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Chris, once again, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure go on the website, follow the Twitter, follow all the social medias, all that good stuff. We're doing big things over here. We'll be back next week in some form or fashion at 7 p.m. Central Time. And with that, we are going to end with our favorite commercial, The Card Guy. Adios.